Well, Country on Keppel 2021 is well and truly underway, and my next special guest I'm catching up with on my wonderful balcony, I'm liking this spot this weekend,
Good spot.
is Danny Phegan. Danny, thanks for your time.
Pleasure to be here, particularly here. It's in between the bar and the toilet. It's perfect.
Now, you've been on stage already a few times this weekend. Earlier this morning, the Songwriters in the Round, which is a new addition to the festival this year. That was a cracking start to Sunday morning proceedings.
It's a cracking start for me to get to share a stage with those fellas. It was fantastic. I was glad to be invited. Really enjoyed it.
Because there was James Blundell, Matt Cornell and
Brad Butcher.
And yourself.
And myself, just making up the numbers. No, it's good for me because I don't get a chance to do those songs a lot because we sort of get paid to, play at rodeos and that sort of thing, get people dancing. So I love that storytelling side of it.
And you're one cheeky guy. I was listening to you on stage yesterday afternoon, and your band
in front of the microphone, or
well, on and off, No, but I mean, the crowd was just so. You had them in the palm of your hand yesterday afternoon with some of the jokes that you were sharing in between your songs.
Oh, that's nice. I can't remember them, but I don't know. When you're feeling good, it just feels like you're amongst friends, and you just I don't know.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about you and your music, because you have got such an incredible backstory of what you do outside of music, but I mean it kind of bleeds into the music realm as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'm only relatively new to the songwriting sort of caper, like that album's probably the first serious crack I had at it. Went to number 1 on the ARIA charts. I don't normally say that, but
well, you got to put
you
it
can
out
edit
there.
that out,
Yeah.
but I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
For a week, but I got the screen grab.
Yep.
I always felt like I had some stories to tell because I travel a lot and I'm interested in people too. Particularly interested in interesting looking people. I want to know their stories. And that sort of bleeds into your music too. But I struggled to write for a while because I kept telling myself I didn't have time. And a bloke told me, he said, if you keep telling yourself that, you'll never write a song. And he said, you might write 100 songs and only one's any good, but get them down on paper. And it was a great piece of advice. As it turns out, I've only written 14 and they're all on the album.
Yeah.
So my strike rate's a bit better than this. No. But it was a great piece of advice just to get it down on paper, get some stuff out. And I'm a bit of a complex artist. When I went to record my album, I said to the producer, I don't really know what I am because we get paid to play upbeat stuff to get people dancing. I listen to quirky stuff like Cole Blunt and Fanny Lumsden and those sort of alternate country types. Cole Blunt's my go-to fella. He's a Canadian folk singer. But when I write, it sort of comes out storytelling and quite sincere. It's quite hard. I just can't write about green tractors and, and girls' bodies, all that sort of stuff. I just can't do it. It's all sort of quite flippant for me. But the problem I have is I get very wordy. I get sort of bogged down in lyrics a little bit too. So I'm still learning that I need to be brave enough to chop some lyrics sometimes and just let songs flow. But I do enjoy the process.
Well, I mean, all the music I've heard from yourself and your band on stage this weekend, you can tell that they're stories from the heart, and there's somebody's going to relate to these stories. And the fact too that I can't think of the name of the song, but there was one particular song I heard from yourself yesterday, and I thought, that reminds me of Old Mate down the road, like back home.
Yeah.
And they're the sort of stories that I think a lot of people can kind of relate to in some way, shape or form.
Well, I hope so, because they're real stories. I didn't pluck them out of the sky, they relate for me. And if people can connect with them, well, that's just a bonus. And I hope that would, because they're real stories.
Now, obviously, besides songwriting, I've heard on the Win that you're very much into is it the rodeo scene? Am I right in saying that?
No. I had a go at rough stock when I was younger. I wasn't much good at it, and so I gave that up pretty quick. I bulged a disc in my back at Gundawindi Rodeo I can't remember what year it was, but I love horses, but I like The
And
ones
we
that
did
don't
see-
try and get rid of you,
Yeah.
more so than the ones that do these days.
Well, I was going to say with horses, maybe that's where wires have got crossed, because I did see in one of the videos that was shared to Country on Keppel's Facebook page in the lead up to this festival.
Oh, the three
you were,
geldings
yeah,
laying
you
down.
were on the it looked like you were on the beach with your three best mates.
Yeah, yeah.
Your horses.
Oh, we spend a lot of time with horses. We I built a camp draft arena just near home, so we draft and we do snaffle bit cutting and challenges and arena sorting, all that sort of stuff. We're riding nearly every day, and we do our mustering on horses as well. So we're ingrained with horses. We love them. But yeah, that the rough stock side passed me by a long time ago. I was never any good at it, so yeah, I thought that's what you're asking, because I've got the hero shot at Gundawindi Rodeo there in my profile thing on Facebook.
So with obviously with that circuit, with the camp drafting and being in those circles, you would obviously be on the road a lot, and you'd obviously use that as some great inspiration for your songwriting.
Yeah, for
as
sure.
Well.
For sure. We spend most of our winters staring at a campfire for one reason or another in different places, and the kids are usually with us. We drag that big horse float around all over the place. We've dragged it right to the tip on this trip, dropped the axles out 3 times between here and Weipa. Yeah, true story, but I've parked it over the bay there at Yeppoon.
Wow.
Turned the gas fridge on for 5 days, and hopefully it's still there when I get back.
Well, you have been on
Hopefully
the road.
someone's watering the horses too.
No, I was going to say, goodness me. Oh well, they've got the fridge. Do they have any beer? You know,
I hope there's some left.
beer for my horses. That's Toby Keith's song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll have 3.
Yeah. So you've been on the road for a bit, Ivan.
5 weeks.
Yeah, but before this festival, because you're down in New South Wales, and it's a bit sketchy down that way at the moment.
Well, we seem to be just in front of it. There started to be talk of it as we crossed the Queensland border, and then it sort of went crazy. So we're just not sure where it's up to now. I hope for the sake of whoever wants to get home can get home, but for my sake, I hope they close the border in a couple of days, and I'll just turn around and go back to the Gulf. It'll be
Yeah,
great.
so you like it up
Love
on
it.
the tip?
Yeah, I love where we live because it's close to everything, and it's close to the kids' grandparents, but I love getting up this way.
Yeah. And you like being on the road?
Love being on the road. Yeah, love James's song last night, The Open Road. You can listen to every word. It's just bang on.
It encapsulates it really well, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. There's nothing like the open road, and there's nothing worse than an 80-kilometre-an-hour caravan just in front of you blocking the open road.
And you're just wishing that they'd pull over. Come on, there's got to be a point that you can pull over and just let us go around.
If you can't do at least 95 k's an hour, get off the road. Please.
Yeah, and I mean, how does it go with the massive horse float?
I can do 85 k's an hour, so I'm sorry for everybody behind me.
But don't you know who's driving that horse float?
Yeah, that's right. Flat to the floor.
Yeah.
No, it's good. We've done a lot of k's in it. We got that built in 2016, I think. So we've been up to the top 2 or 3 times through the centre, around the Kimberleys, down to Carragini, through the Pilbara, the West Coast, back home. Now it's gone up this side. This trip we're doing now was actually meant to happen 3 years ago.
Wow.
But then Caroline got pregnant with Paddy.
Oh,
So-
and you've got a massive family.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me saying massive,
Six.
massive family.
And
6
it's all her fault.
Yeah.
From the first time I laid eyes on her, I knew she wanted me.
Yeah.
So our young Paddy buggered up that trip. So this has been 3 years in the making to get the family up this side, this eastern side.
Yeah.
So
And speaking of your kids, 2 of them actually joined you on stage last night.
Yeah, well, my old piano teacher comes out to our farm every Friday night now, since COVID, but she'll come out to the farm every Friday night and just bang them all through, the 6 kids with their lessons. And Tilly's doing quite well. She's up to grade 7, so it was great for me to have her on stage. And what a story she's got. She's 15 and she can say she's played on a tropical island at a festival.
Yeah. I mean, that must be, is that one of those moments where you're just proud dad?
Oh, 100%. That's what it's all about for me, the family and the kids. And little Paddy, he probably won't remember being up there, and he's only up there for a minute, but there'll be plenty of photos when he gets a little bit older.
Yeah, a few, any dodgy ones for 21st, when...
No. Yeah, there might be.
18th, 21st, those photos get pulled out.
Oh, we keep them all.
Oh.
Keep them all.
Well,
everybody needs a humbling moment.
Oh, definitely. And, usually parents are the ones that...
Deliver the humbling moment.
Yeah, they bring you back down to earth when you know...
Parents are great for keeping the middle range. Someone said to me the other day that a parent's job is delayed gratitude. You do the best you can now so they appreciate it later.
Yeah, that is true. Well, Danny, it's been a real pleasure to catch up with you.
Yeah,
here
you too,
on
Shaz.
Great
Yeah.
Keppel Island, and I hadn't had the pleasure of chatting to you before, but we spoke last night, and I thought, Danny's just one of those characters. I think you could sit down with a beer and you could talk for just hours.
I would love to sit down with a beer and talk for hours and hours. I do that very well. My missus reckons I was vaccinated with a gramophone needle.
Oh, well, there you go. But I mean, it's just been a pleasure to have the chance to have a brief chat with you today.
Thanks.
And look forward to hearing you back on stage a
Yeah,
little
another
later.
spot at 3. Is that Johnny now?
It is Johnny Taylor, yeah. He's
beautiful.
just jumped up on stage. So when it comes to new music, what's in that realm for yourself?
Well, I was going to do another album, then we had the bushfires, and then we had COVID, and it's a big commitment, and I just thought I might release a few singles along the way and drip feed those on at a regular pace. And
just keep people hanging on?
Would just stay relevant. And I might slap them together and add a few more to it and call it an album in 12 months or something. But the first single should have been out now, but we didn't get a chance to do the film clip with all the lockdown. So I don't know, maybe next month. I've recorded them. There's 2 ready to come out. I've just got to do the film clips for them.
And where can people stay up to date so they can hear as soon as something's released?
Well, I'm not much good at the social stuff, but I've got my head around Facebook. There's a Danny Phegan Facebook page. There's Danny Phegan official Instagram, which I'm not very good at. The girl at our local coffee shop set it up for me, and I said, just bang a photo on every now and then. Now Dave, our drummer, does it. I do the Facebook stuff, so if you want to send a message or befriend us or like us or whatever you do there, find me there. And up until yesterday I had dannyphegan.com, but the website's crashed for some reason today.
No.
Maybe because it's all the merchandise. Getting sold.
well.
I'd like to think that.
Well, yeah, your merchandise did go like hotcakes yesterday.
Right,
from what I heard, they're like, all of Danny's stuff's gone.
It's been great. Yeah. And I left a heap of it in the float, and it's too far to swim to get more.
No.
And I get seasick. I'm already dreading that boat ride back.
Have you enjoyed your time on the island?
I absolutely love it. When I was here 3 years ago, I said to Caroline, I've just finally worked out what I want to do with the rest of my life. I want to move to a tropical island. And then we got halfway across that water 2 days ago, and I was green in the gills. And I said, I don't want an island anymore. I want a real long skinny peninsula that sort of bubbles out at the end.
Yeah, and just one big massive gate at the end of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, put the National Guard there.
No, thanks so much for your time, Danny. And definitely stay up to date with Danny Phegan on socials, website when it's back up and running. And I don't know
what's going on there, but we'll fire it back up again. But certainly Facebook's the best spot.
Yeah.
Danny Phegan spelt with a PH, not Nick Finnegan.
No. Thanks, Danny, for your time.
No worries. Thanks. Great to meet you.